We start this programming today with a special announcement. Dallas, Texas, we're coming for you!
Yes.
We are so excited. We have a live show on Thursday, October 19th at the Texas Theater. The doors are at 7. The show is at 8.
There are general admission and VIP tickets still available. VIP gets you a signed poster and access to our post-show Q&A. And
my favorite part.
Those Q&As
so
get
fun.
kind of ruckus.
They get so buck.
I feel
We're
like
all wasted by the end.
it's so fun. And
We tell all.
we definitely tell all. There have been proposals.
They are not recorded.
Yeah, the venue staff are always like, what is happening? So anyway, splurge for the VIP ticket if you're so inclined. And you can get yours now at wineandcrimepodcast.com. Go check it out. Dallas, we're going to be there soon, baby.
We'll see you on October 19th.
We'll see you there.
Wine and Crime contains graphic and explicit content which may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
You are listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where three friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accents and lose their ever-loving minds.
Do you ever do that thing where you just did something, but you have no recollection of doing it?
The opposite of deja vu.
Because that's
Never
happening to me,
vu.
right? Never vu. Neva vu.
Deja vu is where my brain is at right now.
She gone.
This is not episode 350, whatever. I've never done this before. I'm a brand new baby.
I think people think it's a bit that we don't know what the fuck we're doing every time we record.
If it has
Tragically
been
not.
more than 36 hours since the last time we recorded,
We've
I'm
forgotten
flying
everything.
blind.
Yeah, it's my first day on the job.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
day
in
one.
training.
I have not been trained,
Yeah,
and
no
they're
one gave me
short-staffed,
the
and they've thrown
binder.
me in. Yeah. I did not ever see an employee handbook. I have no clue what I'm doing.
I've not been onboarded. I've signed nothing.
I seriously do lose like all cognitive function around the tech within 48 hours of recording.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Anyway.
we haven't recorded in like a week because my kid was fucking sick and I was fucking sick and it never ends. Yep.
No.
It's fine. I coped.
Do we remember who we are?
I'm Kenyan.
I'm Lucy. I'm fine.
I'm Amanda. Nevavu.
Nemavu.
I'm using that.
Bip bap bop. Nevavu.
All right. Well, we have a very special fan pick this week brought to you by Ruby Meadow and her dad, Carrie.
Oh my god.
Like Cary Grant.
Oh.
And they are dedicating this episode. It's in remembrance of Mabel the French Bulldog,
Oh.
which is very apropos for the topic selection.
We'll get to the French bulldogs.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Let's hope she didn't die of respiratory issues.
We'll get to it. Well, they have selected the topic to honor their dead beloved pet of purebred crimes.
Y'all.
I wish it was about bread, but it's not.
Yum.
I know. Okay.
Yeah.
As we record this, I am for the first time ever getting a pet from a breeder. I have never done that before. And I did.
Please direct your emails to Amanda. I
Yeah,
cannot.
feel
Go
free.
into Amanda.
I'm always an adopt don't shop person, but I have always
Except
wanted this
now.
specific type of cat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not having kids, so I'm fucking doing it.
You're
And-
basically getting a French bulldog of a cat.
well,
What breed is she?
so she's technically an exotic short hair, but that is a breed of Persian. And so they have those little squishy faces, but you have to, if you do the right research on your breeder, you can make sure that they are not breeding them in such a way to like really accentuate those facial features. And so part of the reason why I went with this breeder is because one of the cats, I don't remember if it's mom or dad cat.
That cat wasn't
No.
accentuating her facial features.
Yeah, because that cat has no nose.
I know, but she actually has more nose. And historically, the litters coming from these cats have not had those respiratory issues. So it's like, these are things to be mindful of if you're going to do a purebred animal. You got to be careful because they can have a lot of issues, which I'm sure Lucy is going to get to. So I was just going to say there are ways to do it more ethically and without as much harm to the little baby animals. That's all I'm saying.
Or the parents.
That's all. They're all the baby animals.
We will get to it. I'm sure we all have additional thoughts. But first, Amanda, what is our wine crime pairing for purebred crimes?
Well, I'm drinking water because I'm thirsty, but I have a recommended pairing today, and it is the 2019 purebred Lodi Old Vine Zinfandel from California.
So
can you believe?
I cannot.
On the squish nose. So this is it's a pure 100% Zinfandel, and it's gonna give you all the trappings, baby. You're gonna get that like cherry, blackberry, a little bit of vanilla from the French oak aging. It has a nice fruit forward, kind of blackberry chocolate caramel flavor, but it finishes really nice and dry. It's on the bolder side. This is like a fuller bodied wine. Zinfandels tend to be, but a lot of those really full bodied wines are going to be super high in tannins and then give you kind of that like almost bitter, like sticks to the teeth. This has a much lower tannin content. So it's going to be smoother, kind of more reminiscent of a Merlot, but it's nice and bold. It's not sweet. It has a lot of those fruit, like dark fruit flavors, but it's definitely way on the drier side. And because it's lower in tannins, it's also a little bit less acidic. So if you're somebody who always wants to like explore red wine, but you feel like certain red wines give you like heartburn
or headaches,
make you a little nauseous,
I'm telling you, try a Zinfandel, like a 100% Old Vine Zinfandel could be exactly what you're looking for. I know I've paired them many times and that a lot of people associate them with like an old lady wine.
Zinfandel just reminds me of like the box of wine that lived above my grandparents' fridge.
Or like a white Zin.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking about white Zin, which is like not a thing.
Yeah,
that like
not really a thing.
Pink nasty shit. But you can get some really nice Zinfandels, and they are not expensive. This one retails for like, I think you can get it at Trader Joe's for like $10. Super, super, super affordable. It's also, this particular bottle is the 2019, which was an incredibly good year in California, especially for Zinfandel yields. So like Zinfandel and Cab Sauv did really, really, really well. They have a lot of similarities between those two grapes, but Zinfandel is going to be even a little bit less like tannic and sharp as a Cab can be right out of the bottle. So I highly recommend it. She's a popper. Because I don't have the bottle in front of me, I'm not 100% sure what the ABV is, but most Zinfandels clock in around 13%. So it's not like super boozy, because that's another thing with especially red wines.
Yeah, sometimes they can knock you down.
And if they're giving you heartburn like that, they might be really, really high in alcohol content. So dial it back, keep it at that like 12, 13%. If red wine's not really agreeing with you, go for something a little bit less acidic, lower tannins, lower ABV, and, ease into it. You'll find something that you really like. But that's what I recommend for this week. And it sounds freaking delicious. I also think they have it at Total Wine. So this weekend when I go shopping.
Yeah.
After I pop out this fetus, will you guide me through some sort of red flight?
Yes. I want to be there. I want to
get there. I want to get there.
Yeah. I think it's time. I used to exclusively drink whites, and then I switched, and now I drink more red than white.
Me too. Yeah, I also was an exclusive white wine drinker and a big Savvy Bee and Pinot Grigio gal.
Yeah.
And I still, if I'm going to reach for white wine, it's probably going to be like a Sauv Blanc or like an Albarino, something really nice and acidic and light and fresh. But yeah, once I started training my palate on reds and found a couple that I really liked, it does get hard to go back.
Yeah.
It makes me feel ill, the ones that I've had. So maybe they're just too rich. They're too...
Yeah. We need to get you into the world of some Pinot Noir, some Pinotages, some old vine Zinfandels, like really kind of ease you into it. I think you'd also like Merlot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love Merlot. Merlot's a nice starter red.
It's a
Very
great starter
smooth.
red. It's so smooth. It's so silky. There's like no acidity at all. It's very easy drinking, but it's not sweet.
Okay.
So we can do this.
Guide me.
We can do this.
You are my Sherpas.
Yay.
Oh,
and
we can't
winter is such a great time to start after you pop out Le Bébé.
Yeah.
Yep.
January 3rd. I'll be
I'm
hitting
not gonna
you both
send
up.
I love it. I'm not going to send a baby gift. I'm just going to send a bunch of wine to your house.
Okay.
Babies don't need gifts. Parents
don't.
need gifts.
Yeah.
No shit.
Okay? Here's your fucking diaper. I'll send you one diaper, so it's like I contributed something.
I got some perineal ice packs on Amazon. I was like, it's going to be a great day when I need these.
For when you're torn from nape to neck or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. The
I bought
taint's just
so
gone.
much gear preparing for a vaginal birth that did not happen. but I
thought
ended
of
Yeah.
you when I got
I know. So I don't overbuy that stuff because you don't know
No.
what's going to happen. I ended up donating all. Thank God I didn't open any of it, and I donated all of it to the local like women and children's shelter.
Yeah. I got a bunch of tit shit too.
Tit shit's good. Mm-hmm. Tit shit's good because those nipples about to hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Anyway,
can't
cheers!
wait. Gonna be needing that wine sooner rather
Yeah.
than later.
Cheers.
I'll get you a wine salve for your nips.
Yes.
There's got to be a wine nipple cream out there.
There's
No, I
gotta
have the
be.
best nipple cream. I already sent it to Lucy.
Yes.
Oh, she can have more than one. Wine
This is the best
nipple
one that I
cream. Wine flake.
Okay, cheers, everyone.
Cheers! I'm not drinking alcohol either because I'm getting over being sick and I still have a ton of snot. But I'm drinking this quite refreshing San Pellegrino situation.
What
I'm just going to send you a bunch of Utter Balm from Chewy.com.
Blood orange.
Yuck. Yum and yuck. Okay. Cheers out of
All
my
right.
bean jar.
Cheers.
All right. Well, Lucy, what is our background and probably not psych for purebred crimes?
I do have a little sprinkling of psych. We'll get to it.
A peppering.
So, according to Biology Online Dictionary,
Bod.
classic.
Hotbod.com.
I want your bud.
Oh my god, I watched theater camp yesterday.
I need to see it. I'm
It's
waiting
so
for Scott.
funny. Well, he better get his ass in gear.
I
But
know.
one part, this guy he says he has BDE, which is like business development excellence or something like that.
Same. That's really funny.
Okay, according to Bod, a purebred is an animal that was produced of the same breed of unmixed lineage over many generations. So in simple terms, it's an animal whose ancestors on both sides have been members of a recognized breed. The same breed.
Sure.
Purebreds and animal breeding in general have to do with the controlled propagation of domestic animals in order to improve desirable qualities. So for human needs primarily. So you would never say like, oh, that's a purebred lion.
Right.
It's
Because
just
we are not
domesticated.
domesticating it and breeding it for our own purposes.
That
Correct.
makes sense. Okay.
from my boyfriend, lover, Britannica, Brit.
The father of your child. Baby Brittany.
My child is up to 962 pages. Typically, certain animals within a breed are designated as purebred. The essential difference between purebred and non-purebred animals is that the genealogy of purebred animals has been carefully recorded, usually in a herd book or a stud book. So that would be like cows and horses.
Yeah. My cat is not this intense.
Yeah, some are
is a lot.
very intense.
And or kept by some sanctioning association. So possibly your cat has a pedigree, which we'll kind of get to.
Yeah, I know
Which
that at
is-
least she has some show cat in her lineage, and her dad has been in Target ads.
Oh.
So-
I've been in
Old money, a
Target
little
ads.
new money.
Yeah, a little old money, a little new money. For sure. Beans.
We'll kind of get to it, but it has to have at least 3 generations. Oh, wait, no, that's not right. A pedigree will show multiple generations of its parents, so you can just track it.
Sure.
And then pedigrees are like kept and verified and updated by these sanctioning associations.
I do not have a pedigree for this guy.
My godfather
I'm not paying that kind of money.
does like pheasant hunting and stuff, and he has like hunting dogs that are all like pedigreed the fuck out and have like special names, and it's
Secretariat.
it's all the thing. It's a big old thing.
It's a big old thing, and it's very serious in the circles that take it seriously.
Well, yeah, and it's expensive.
Very expensive. But your cat might have a pedigree. You should
I'm
ask
gonna
the
ask.
breeder. Yeah.
Now I'm curious.
And even if she doesn't, you can start one.
Yeah, but if
can pay to
she's spayed, then that's kind of a waste.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Well,
not
yeah,
gonna
of
breed
course.
her, but I still can make her family tree.
You could, yeah.
Of one.
She'll just be the last branch.
Oh, poor Beans.
Beans.
So when I was Googling purebreds, most of the information was on dogs.
Yeah.
Because that's the most common type of purebred animal. So I got a lot of information on dogs.
Well, and so many dogs are bred for utility, which is not a cat thing.
Right.
So that just makes sense.
All dog breeds were bred for a specific human purpose.
Right.
All of them. So people tend to get purebreds over crossbreds because the dog will be way more predictable in its temperament, behavior, appearance, size, and color. Crossbred meaning
Two different breeds at least.
at least 2 different, but it's also not the same as a mixed breed necessarily.
Okay.
So purebreds are desirable because they're very predictable. This is because they are the result of many years of selective breeding. And like I just said, all breeds were developed for a specific purpose, and documentation is available of their history and heritage. So many good, reputable breeders will provide the dog's pedigrees, which allows people to determine which specific animal to get according to their needs and lifestyle. So
Interesting.
you can see the temperaments of their parents and grandparents and great-grandparents and be like, all of these dogs were really good with kids.
Right.
All of these dogs were really hyperactive.
Yep.
I'm sure that would be incredibly useful for like, special needs, like assistance dogs.
For sure.
Or like working with children or work like farm work.
Yeah.
Especially
hurting
herding
animals.
is like knowing how to like what I've learned from my Welsh sheepdog, you guys. It is not easy. You have to know how to like guide the livestock without harming it and
Right.
be
We've all
like,
seen Babe.
yeah, there's a lot to it.
There's a lot to it. And with hunting dogs.
Yep.
Even just for an animal to be bred not to be afraid of those loud noises is
Yeah.
like nuts.
Soft mouth.
Oh, soft mouth. Callie was the queen of soft mouth. She
Oh,
was
yeah.
so good at taking food from a baby's hand.
Josie is really good at soft mouth as well. My godfather was like, this is not fair. Like, I had to work really hard to get my dogs to do this with the ducks that I
Has Sonia discovered that if she hands Josie food from her plate, that Josie will be very receptive to
Their
that?
relationship is blossoming into a whole new level
It's
now.
so cute. I have to find this video of my goddaughter Ruby when they were at my house. She is laughing maniacally and just feeding her pasta directly to Callie, who's being like the sweetest little soft mouth baby. And it is cracking Ruby up. She can't stop laughing every time. It's like, duh, this dog is going to take this from you. You're giving it food. But she was
Josie,
like, I can't believe it.
Josie like hates Sonia, but not. But like she will tolerate her. Like she's not aggressive at all, but she's just like, who
She's a big
is
sister.
this
That's all. She's a big
person that
sister.
ruined my whole life?
Yeah.
But
She's Ashley.
Sonia has some food.
She's Ashley.
She's the Ashley Jacobson of dogs.
Yeah, they'll be friends someday when Sonia's in college.
Yep, when Josie goes to college.
Josie can buy her beer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so cute.
I
I love
know.
Josie hates Sonia.
She really does. She just like looks at me, looks at her. She has to get off the couch a lot, like
Is
whenever
she
we have
going
to take
home
a nap.
yet?
Yeah.
How much longer do I have to endure this?
Yeah. And Sonia doesn't even like really bother her. Like Sonia
No.
learned very early to like not be up in Josie's grill, but she still
doesn't
want to
play with you.
Sonia, or just Josie, the other one, is way sensitive.
I know.
Your eldest
can't
daughter is
handle
very
it.
sensitive.
I know. It's a lot. She doesn't even sleep upstairs anymore most nights.
Oh, poor girl.
She likes
She is an alien in her own home. Look what
she
you've
sleeps
done.
on the couch downstairs.
Poor girl. Oh.
Holy shit, she's a jilted
She
lover.
doesn't want to deal with the crying in the middle of the night. She's
Can
like,
you blame
I need
her?
my sleep.
Yeah.
No, I wish
I'm,
I could.
I'm the Josie.
Tag yourself. I'm Josie.
All right. Anyway.
Okay, according to the American
Josie.
Kennel Club, the AKC,
AKC.
which is AKA AKC, the largest registry for purebred dogs, the French Bulldog was the most popular breed in 2022. So shout out to Mabel, that French Bulldog.
R.I.P.
With the Labrador Retriever. So is that like what does a Labrador Retriever look like?
It's not quite a golden retriever, but they're like
The
those
hair is
blonde,
like a little bit
short-haired labs.
shorter.
Yeah.
So it's a lab?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they're blonde.
Yes. Can't they also be black?
You could, but then that would be a black Labrador Retriever, a chocolate lab. But when you're just talking in general, like Labrador Retriever, the classic it's the golden retriever version. It's like the blonde lab.
Yeah, it looks a lot like a golden retriever, but shorter hair.
Okay. Well, followed by the Golden Retriever, the regular one. The German Shepherd and the Poodle ranking numbers 2 through 5, respectively.
Does it say what kind of poodle? Standard poodle, toy poodle, miniature poodle? So
I think
very
those
different.
are all like sub genres of the
Okay.
poodle.
All right.
I just got poodle. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Standard poodles are fucking dope. They're so smart.
They're so big. They're
so big.
always smell.
Yeah, but they don't shed.
I saw 2 standard poodles being walked, and they had just gotten haircuts, and they were
The
blonde.
poof balls?
They were like yellow haired, like blondes, not
Did they
white.
have the poofs?
Yeah, baby.
Oh!
They had poofs on their ass, poofs on their
Yes!
ankles, poofs on their ears. Ugh,
I'm obsessed.
they were just
Obsessed.
They were amazing. Anyway, so the Frenchie is a fan favorite because of its compact breed and its ability to adapt to various lifestyles.
It's a good apartment dog.
Yep, they have had a surge in popularity in cities because of their small size and the fact that they tend to be a quieter type of dog.
They're not yippy, so your neighbors aren't going to call the cops.
And I will say, out of all of the bulldogs, the French bulldog is the cutest because American and English bulldogs, I cannot.
My aunt has an English bulldog.
They're
I actually love an
heinous.
English, but I think they're so cute.
they're
send you a picture.
so ugly.
I think they're cuter than the French Bulldog, personally.
What? Do you know which is which?
Yes, yeah. They all look like their name is like Bubba.
Dude,
Ugh.
correct.
I
They all look like a
them.
Bubba or a Churchill. They're so
you know what
weird
dog
looking.
I hate, and this is gonna be terrible.
Let's hear it. Tell us about the dogs
I'm
you hate.
sorry. Please don't write to us. We don't hate your dog.
We do. We
We're
specifically
happy that
hate your
you
dog.
love your own
Your dog
listener.
sucks, and we hate it.
I don't like a spaniel.
Oh, that's weird because they're
okay.
very cute, but they're very high energy.
Yeah. I don't know.
They
Someone
remind
didn't
me of
watch-
horse girls.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
that's fair.
Yep.
Of Lady
Spaniels do
Bluebird.
have horse girl energy for sure.
Yep.
Lady
Yeah.
Bluebird had like 3 whatever spaniels.
It's the
Yeah.
crinkly ears. It just reminds me of a long ponytail.
I do love Lady and the Tramp. I'm pretty
Yep.
sure she's a spaniel, so I like
Yep.
it in cartoon form.
I like it in 2 dimensions.
Yep. I'll take that.
I like dogs that are the general size and shape of cats. With the pointy ears, Oh, like a toy Aussie. I follow one of those on
those are
Instagram.
so
Those are
cute.
so cute.
Yeah. All the shepherd dogs I do tend to like.
Anything medium or smaller. I don't like the big. I don't like the
Sheepdogs.
bigs.
You don't
Yeah.
like the bigs.
I like
I
a working
don't-
dog.
I don't like a man in a dog costume.
No.
That's exactly what I want. Oh my God, this dog is
I
absurd.
can't believe you like English bulldogs.
I sometimes
They're
I like a
cute.
dog that's super ugly. Like I like a hound.
All right.
But then they get the eyes, the bloody down
Well,
eyes.
I don't like that, obviously.
Jackson definitely
yeah.
has downturned eyes, and they are
but
shocking.
I just think they're like little like meatballs.
they are total meatballs.
I don't know. It's just
They
cute.
could be made into meatballs.
All right.
Okay.
Next.
Ma'am.
So why are purebreds so expensive?
Why?
So darned expensive.
Because that's the literal point of them is status.
Status.
Yeah.
Yep. Most breeds have a fluctuating price range in the market based on their popularity, availability, and breeding costs. So the price usually reflects the breeder's out-of-pocket expenses for the costs associated with the dog while in their care. So you don't want a cheap purebred.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
Probably
Because-
has some red flags right there.
Yeah.
Reputable breeders tend to invest substantially more in their litters than puppy mills and backyard breeders. There are sometimes additional costs such as stud fees, artificial insemination costs, little squirt.
Oh, what? I just sent you some bulldog photos of my aunt's dog
Oh, Jesus.
so that you can shrivel
No.
in.
They look like a ball sack.
No. An angry ball sack that just reeks and it drools. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
Like every dog smells, that's just like in some way, that's just gonna happen. But the drool elevates the smell factor.
But you
and
have to
so-
go get their wrinkles cleaned out.
Yeah,
or
you
else
really
they get
gotta clean
rashes.
them right. Yeah, then infections. You gotta be really on top
Like
of the
a
folds.
foreskin.
Yep.
And
correct.
then their jowls rub together and they get rashes where they rub, like chub rub, but on their fucking chin.
Loomy, baby.
Loomy, full body
Yeah,
deodorant
Loomy,
for
your
dogs.
dog.
We don't know. I'm gonna call
Maybe.
them.
Oh my God.
Get Loomy on the phone. I need to know if I can use it on my purebred.
me, Loomy.
Get me, Loomy. I don't know who I'm yelling at. No one's here. John,
It's Blanche.
get me,
Blanche
Blanche.
just hops into action.
Get me, Loomy. What if he
got a
just
little
pulled,
headset.
What if he just pulled out a tiny rabbit iPhone and just called the founder of Loomy right now? What would you even do?
I would.
All right. This is unhinged. Let's move on.
Also, breed-specific genetic screening tests could be an added cost to ensure a purebred litter if they really know what they're doing, and they have to prove it.
Yeah.
Obviously, the dogs with the most impressive pedigrees and leading kennels will have higher prices than others.
Some have like years-long waiting lists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, because I'm sick of talking about dogs, I got a little bit about cats.
Yay!
A purebred cat, such as Wisp. Just kidding. I don't know what
Wisp.
Wisp is. Besides,
Wisp is a
now she
Persian.
has an asshole.
Yeah. She's some kind of Persian. She's got the same fucking weird face, and
But she could be a mixed breed with just,
she probably is, but she's got
Persian.
some Persian in her for sure.
oh yeah, she's got a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
poop in her.
Oh,
Sweet
Poor Wisp.
Wisp. She's on the mend. A purebred cat is a cat whose parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents are all of the same breed. However, if they do not have a documented pedigree or family tree, which is recognized by a registration organization, they might be a purebred, but they're not pedigree cats.
sure.
Got it.
So differentiations. So one such registration organization might be the GCCF, or the Governing Council of the Cat Fancy.
What?
That's what it's called.
Governing council.
What Amanda's going to leave all her money to when she dies.
1000% of the cat fancy. Top hit. Their website
Is it beautiful?
is nice.
I used to have a subscription to Cat Fancy.
Duh.
They recycled a lot of their articles.
There are some real beauties on here.
Oh, I can't. I'll get into that during Kenyon's case. Okay.
Okay.
The most popular purebred cat. Do we want to guess what the most popular purebred cat is?
Is it the Scottish Fold?
No, she's not even on the top
White?
10.
Really? Is it Persian?
It's not Persian.
is it,
Persian's number 2.
Is it
Blue?
Kenyon.
Is it
Not the Russian
Siamese? Do they
blue.
still call them that?
It is the Siamese.
That's what. Okay.
Yep.
Those
And
cats are fucking gorgeous too.
They are so loud.
Yeah.
And
So the nice thing about Persians, they're quiet.
I read, I don't know if this is true, but I read that most black cats are also very vocal because most of them have some Siamese lineage.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. Could be bullshit, but I read that once.
Okay.
So-
And Cat Fancy.
Siamese is number 1, followed by the Persian, the Maine Coon.
Those are cute.
Yeah.
I like those.
Maine Coons are so fucking cool.
They're so cool. They
The
just
other
look
the
like
dog
werewolves.
of cats.
They are like
That's
a dog
why
of cats.
I like them.
And
Yep.
those,
Yep.
they look like, those, what are those? Like those Norwegian forest cats that are
Yeah.
just enormous.
Enormous,
Oh,
hairy,
so
blow.
beautiful.
Yeah, those are
Tabbied. They're like beautiful, stripy. I'm obsessed.
Maine Coons just look so wise.
They're so cool.
Then we have a ragdoll. I love a ragdoll.
I love
cool. I
ragdolls.
gotta Google that.
Oh my god, you would absolutely adore. a
They
ragdoll.
just when you hold them, they just droop. They're named like that because they just
Give
want to
in.
be held. They just
Like
lay there.
Sassy.
Mm-hmm. Kind of. Yeah, I think Sassy might have been a ragdoll
She might have been.
or a ragdoll Persian mix. She's got a silly face, a little bit.
Then we have the Bengal, high energy.
Yeah,
Do you follow George the Bengal on Instagram?
I don't. I'll start now.
He has a squeaky
worry, I'm
little
going.
voice. It sounds like a teenager going through puberty. He's a squeaky little, oh, he's so cute. Then we have the Abyssinian glamour.
I've never
Glory.
heard the Abyssinian.
Abyssinian.
Abyssinian. Okay.
They're like rich brownish orange with like
Cool.
piercing eyes. They're very
They
sleek
look-
and thin.
Terrifying. These are cats that will kill you very strategically.
Sure. Some
They're
of them
purebreds.
really do.
They're straight
look-
out of the jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have the Bierman or the Burman. Gorgeous. They look a lot like Persians. Or sorry, ragdolls. They look like ragdolls. Then we have the Oriental short hair, and then the Sphinx, the Baldies, the Devon Rex with the short hair that's kind of curly.
Mm-hmm. Those are weird, but they're cool.
They're cool. Then the Himalayan. I
You
think
could be
Sassy was a
making up
Himalayan.
every other one of these, and I would have no idea.
These are all real.
Like some of them sound familiar, but most of them sound like you're just interspersing fake ones.
I think Sassy was probably a Himalayan. And then lastly, the American short hair, which is a breed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a mixed.
Sassy was definitely a Himalayan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So those are the most popular 12 cats.
I can't believe that Scottish Folds aren't even on there.
Scottish Folds are so stinking cute.
They're
just
so
little bowling balls.
absurdly cute with their stunty little legs and their
I know.
stunty little ears.
Yeah, they're so
Yeah,
cute.
perfectly round fucking heads. Are you kidding me?
I love them.
God.
So there's a lot of debate surrounding whether or not purebreds have a higher risk for genetic complications.
Mm.
And there isn't a definite answer because there are so many variables when it comes to gene expression,
Right.
including the environment that the cat grew up in.
Mm-hmm. And like the breeding practice has a lot to do with that. So if you are going to
Everything.
go through a breeder, you got to be
Mhm.
real careful that they're not making like siblings in a litter
Yeah. hmm
do stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
happen. Like puppy and kitten mills, that's the shit that they do. They churn them out. They will breed
Mhm.
cats and dogs from the same litter just to have, and they will like have breedable parents have litters like constantly
Yeah,
throughout the
I
year.
knew
It's
that.
really, really bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
The ASPCA says that mixed breed dogs are often healthier than purebred dogs. And this is because purebreds have a limited gene pool, and genetic disorders tend to develop from generation to generation.
We already talked at length about the Habsburgs, you guys.
It's a Habsburg situation.
You gotta
Can
be
you imagine
careful.
a cat with a Habsburg chin?
That's the opposite of a smush face.
Yeah. That's a no from me, Dag.
So, speaking of, a prime example of a genetic disorder in purebreds is brachycephalic syndrome, brachyfax syndrome, which occurs in boxers, bulldogs, and pugs. So the smushies, the smush dogs.
They can't fucking breathe.
Yeah.
This genetic disorder describes their smushed up faces, which leads to varying degrees of upper airway dysfunction and obstruction. And some purebreds are also more susceptible to dilated cardiomyopathy, or DCM, which occurs when the heart muscles become too weak. So the heart loses the ability to contract normally and like pump blood. So to do its job. So they basically have like heart failure.
When we were bringing Josie back from South Africa, we had to put like German Shepherd mix or something on her paperwork because there are some airlines that won't let you fly chows. And Josie's a mutt and she was a rescue, but she's definitely part chow. But we just didn't want chow anywhere on the paperwork because some airlines don't want to take the risk of flying smushy face nose dogs in cargo
Interesting.
Oh. Because of the heart issue?
because of the breathing.
The breathing.
Oh.
And then they could potentially be liable.
Although her nose is not smushed
No,
at
it's
all.
not. She has a very
but a lot of chows
petite,
are.
pronounced
They would
nose.
flag it. They don't have to look at them. They would just
Right.
flag it.
Josie is the most beautiful dog
She's
I've ever
stunningly
seen.
gorgeous.
It's unreal.
I
That
know,
dog.
we get stopped. Literally, we get stopped every other walk by
She's
a
a
stranger
model.
asking what type she is
Yep.
and telling her that she's so gorgeous.
Yeah, she's fucking
She's
gorgeous.
the Rothies of dogs.
She really is.
She's beautiful. She's part chow, we think part golden, and maybe part German Shepherd.
I like when her ears are down, the tops of her ears have little pieces of fur that stick up.
Oh, she has like 80s like crimped hair over her ears. It's
Yeah,
so
She's
cute.
perfect.
So cute.
I love her.
Little fun fact for you. National Purebred Dog Day is May 1st.
Ooh.
This holiday was founded in 2013.
When is Purebred Cat Day?
Didn't
Every day.
even look
You're right.
at.
Every day is Purebred
Yes.
Cat Day.
So here's my little bit of psych for us.
I'll find out about National Purebred Cat Day.
According to PETA, so take this how you will. Buying from, and it's not that I disagree with it, but we'll get to it. Buying from breeders, either backyard breeders or responsible breeders, is not acceptable just as a general rule due to their contribution to the overpopulation crisis and animals' increase in genetic diseases.
Hey, that's fair. I get it.
One of their points is when there is a movie featuring a specific type of dog, their demand tends to go up, which pushes puppy mills and dog breeders to try to meet the surge in demand. And a lot of times people will want to get these dogs because they think it'll be just like the dog in the movie.
The
And when the
trained
dog-
specialist
Yeah.
expert
Right.
animal who was edited into an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Who had
Scripted
multiple
piece.
takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I obviously have my thoughts on PETA, but I don't disagree with this, but it's kind of a yes and situation because this applies to like every kind of animal. You know, like for example, now I've owned in my lifetime 3 rabbits, and because we had one as kids, and it's really common around Easter for parents to put rabbits in an Easter basket, not
Yeah.
realizing that they are actually like an exotic pet that have a lot of specific needs. They just think it's cute. And then a few months
pretty sure
in,
my grandpa did that, and then they
I'm
had
sure.
a bunch of fucking rabbits. in
tons
their-
of people do
Yeah.
it. And then they either will, if they're, decent people, they'll bring them to a shelter, or if they have access to a shelter to bring them to. But a lot of people just abandon them. And then that's how you end up with fucking feral hogs, and we'll get to it.
Oh, good.
You didn't think I wasn't going to hog on this episode.
Yeah.
So when these dogs don't act like the professional movie actor dogs, many will give the dog away to rescue groups and shelters. So I wrote, in other words, many people are fucking stupid. And there's my psych.
Yeah. I feel like this happened with, what are they called? Labradoodles. Or people, that breed became really, really, really popular, but people didn't understand how high energy and how much their like exercise needs are, that they get really fucking big and they can barrel over your kids. Like, yes, they're hypoallergenic. Yes, they're smart. They're lovely dogs. But if you're not ready to train a dog or any animal, care for any animal that needs that kind of care, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You
I
are
love blue heelers. I think they're so beautiful. But I could never have one because I am not a marathon runner with a farm. You know, and that's what that dog needs.
Yeah. I also thought this might explain why in my mind, this is just anecdotal, this is just in my mind, but might explain why golden retrievers were all over the fucking place in the 90s.
Airbud.
Because of like Homeward Bound, Airbud.
Every fucking movie.
Everyone had a motherfucking golden retriever in like the late 90s. Is
I
that
do
just
feel like
me?
Bernard's had a moment.
Yep.
Oh,
fucking
Beethoven.
Beethoven. I do feel like golden retrievers have endured as like the all-American.
They're a very
breed.
just family dog. And, you
Seemed
know,
like everyone had a fucking golden
There
retriever.
there definitely was a fad for sure.
Yeah.
But animal
Now they're
trends,
number 3.
Yeah. Animal trends are a very real thing. Seasonal animal trends are a very real thing. Just, we're not here, obviously, to judge whether or not you get a pet from a breeder or from an adoption. Just, like, do your fucking research and make sure that you have the capacity to actually care for that animal.
Yeah.
That's all we give a shit about.
Yeah. So I wanted to touch on designer animals,
Oh, God.
which are not the same as purebreds. So a designer animal will have 2 purebred parents from different breeds. So an
like a
example is
Labradoodle.
Yorkie poo.
a golden doodle was the one I had in here. But yeah, a Labradoodle, I guess. Yeah, Yorkie poo or whatever
That's
the
what
fuck.
Burke was. He was a Yorkie poo.
Was he a designer Yorkie poo?
I have no idea. He was rescued. Well, actually, probably because he was rescued from a puppy mill and his heart was fucked. That's why they didn't think he would make it
No,
through puppyhood.
Burke.
Burke he defied all odds.
You can look
Burke
at Burke
was a special
and know
boy.
that dog ain't
that
right.
he came from.
That boy ain't right.
He was the runt.
I fucking loved that dog so much.
He was so
Yeah,
busted.
the fact that he
so
made
funny.
it like
He was
8
so
years
busted.
is actually a miracle. He was the most fucking busted ass dog. I loved that fucking dog, but my God.
Oh my God. Okay, so a designer dog is also different from a mixed breed dog because it's made from 2 distinct and traceable lineages.
Okay.
It takes 3 generations of documented breeding to be considered a breed. So a golden doodle became it's not a designer animal anymore if it's like there are multiple parents of golden doodles.
Okay,
You know
so
what I
now
mean?
it's been like established as a breed where previously it was a designer dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
And obviously, even all purebreds, if you go back far enough, you might have
Right.
to go back thousands of years, but,
And there's something else that's going to sneak in there.
well, yeah, nothing.
Someone's going to slip dick. It's
Nothing's
a dog
pure.
fuck dog world out
Purity is false. Yes.
Right. We're also talking about like the eugenics of animals.
Yeah.
Right.
So, okay. The commercial breeding of dogs is regulated on a federal level, with some states having additional requirements. Commercial pet breeders have to meet minimal animal care standards found in the Animal Welfare Act, and the Department of Agriculture, so the USDA, is responsible for licensing and overseeing these businesses. Dog breeders with more than 4 breeding females and who sell puppies wholesale or like sight unseen to pet stores, brokers, or selling them online have to be USDA licensed.
I think a few cities in the U.S. are banning pet stores now.
Like animal sales at pet stores, you mean?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you can still buy pet supplies.
Like you can have an adoption center, but you can't get
Right.
like a breeded.
there just
okay.
won't be
Yeah.
like, puppies that
Well, yeah, that's what you have to do. You have to cut off the demand, like the chain of supply and demand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to cut that off at the neck
Mm-hmm.
to end those kinds of like really nasty breeding practices.
But you can still get like fish and gerbils and stuff.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's for dogs and cats.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. However, many sketchy breeders avoid government oversight because they operate under the USDA's radar or are not subject to oversight by the USDA under federal laws and regulations. So, like, if they had 3 breeding females.
Mm-hmm. And you do it in your house behind closed doors.
The backyard breeders.
Yeah, who's really fucking, unless you've got like a diligent neighbor that's going to maybe raise some flags, but.
And I'm sure some take really good care of their animals. I'm sure some do.
Yeah.
But they're not being regulated. And
I
it'd be
don't
great
like
if
that-
they were.
Yeah.
Well, none of that matters because if the USDA finds anything during inspections, these violations routinely go unpunished.
Great.
So, like, a lot of this is not enforced at all.
So this is just for show. What's the fucking point of even having like taxpayer money fund that fucking service if they're not going to do anything?
To address this, Goldie's Act, or H.R. 1788, was introduced to the House in March of
Goldie
2023. Not like Goldie Hawn. Because USDA investigators identified a golden retriever puppy, aka number 142, in a puppy mill in Iowa. And she was emaciated and needing care, but instead of helping her, they left her there to die.
Oh
What?
my God.
So they named the act after this dog who was a golden retriever, so they called it Goldie's Act.
Jesus Christ.
So this act would help amend the Animal Welfare Act to increase the enforcements concerning violations, force the USDA to conduct more frequent and meaningful inspections, provide life-saving intervention for suffering animals, issue penalties for violations, and communicate with local law enforcement to address cruelty and neglect. You can track the legislative process of this bill online.
So you literally just read all the things I assumed this department was built to already be doing.
And they were doing it.
Cool.
And the guy who ran this puppy mill had over 200 other
Like
citations,
complaints. Yeah.
violations. And not only was he not like stopped, but the USDA somehow helped him like cover it up.
Ugh.
So they found out about this, and then a bunch of legislators wrote this Goldie's Act to be like, this is really fucked up.
Yeah.
And I think it's wrapped up in like a farming bill or something. But it's
That makes
it's
sense.
moving through now.
Okay.
All right. Well,
That's
what
a
a note
good
to end on.
God.
Okay.
Purebreds, be careful.
Listen, this is what the people asked for.
Yeah.
And they're
Hopefully,
getting it.
hopefully
They're
my
fucking getting
case
it.
will have enough funny elements to turn this ship around. Although,
We got this.
yeah. Okay. No more.
Oh God.
Let's hear a quick word from our sponsors first.
Okay.
Oh no. Okay, y'all. Let's be real. Let's just have a real conversation right now, okay? Summer is not the only time we get BO. Summer is not the only time we're sweaty and stinky. Frankly, some of the worst stink times for old Mandy over here is that transition from summer to fall, where in the morning
Yep.
it's cold enough to put on your favorite sweater.
Yep.
And then by 1 p.m., you are dripping in sweats and melting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is why I am so in love and so excited to tell you about Lumi whole body deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. Okay. Lumi deodorant was created by an OBGYN who discovered that odor is not just an underarm thing. And we know this. We all know this. It's an all over thing. So she developed Lumi, which is a pH optimized deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor everywhere for up to 72 hours. So fall can just be fresh.
Yeah. Lumi has so many great products. They have like a tiny little travel-sized deodorant, which I will be taking to Dallas later this week.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna need Luby in Dallas.
Yeah, I put it between my thighs. I put it, well, they've also got like intimate wipes, which,
those.
speaking of travel, necessary.
Big time.
They just make you feel really fresh. They smell very good, very like neutral. So you can use them anywhere. Anyone can use them. They've thought of everything.
Indeed.
Lumi's products are aluminum-free, baking soda-free, and paraben-free. Free of all the crazy stuff you just don't really need. Like I mentioned about those wipes, it's pH balanced, so it's safe for use below the belt. It's also clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. This is better than like traditional, just a shower.
Straight up.
12 hours after a shower, the average person has an odor level of 6 out of 10. And with Lumi, the average odor level, guess what, is a 0 out of 10.
Get out of here.
They keep you fresh, baby.
And Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, so you can get like the deodorant wipes, the mini body wash, you know, the good stuff. And free shipping. And as a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a Lumi Starter Pack with code GALS5 at LumiPodcast.com. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you visit LumiDeodorant.com and use that code GALS5 and treat your odor.
Trade it.
Are we ready for my case?
Content warning. Kenyon's case.
Well, you'll see why I'm wavering once we get through my case.
I'm ready. I saw what you put in the main doc for what you were covering, and I'm not familiar with this case, and I am very excited to get familiar with this case.
Oh, no.
Imagine, if you can, an event bigger and arguably even more prestigious than Westminster.
My wedding.
That
the only one I can imagine.
From Best in Show.
Oh.
Crufts is an international dog show that is held... Crufts.
Like ruffed, but with a C?
Yep.
Cruft?
Cruft.
Yikes.
What
Okay.
is ruffed?
I don't know.
Okay.
Her
Just a
auditory
word I could,
processing
yeah,
word.
just a way that I could say it that made sense to me. Yeah. Thank you, Kenyon.
Her auditory
At least
processing
somebody
word.
fucking gets it. Didn't even question me.
All right.
Unlike my other best friend. What the fuck is ruffed?
Like Ruffs with a C.
Got it,
is an
okay.
international dog show that is held each year in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
Of course.
First held in 1891, the competition
Jesus.
was named after its founder, Charles Cruft,
Okay, this is tracking
who
now.
was a sales manager at a dog biscuit manufacturer called Sprats.
Enough with the horrible names. And if you have a bad last name, don't name some event after your last name.
I just love that this guy had
I
a
beg to differ. Crufts is the perfect name for a British dog show.
You're not wrong. I also just love that, like, this guy had a boring as fuck job, like, marketing dog treats, and then was like, you know what? I'm gonna start
a
the
dog
most
competition.
fucking prestigious
I'm bored.
I
dog
gotta
competition
sell these biscuits.
ever
Yeah.
to sell my biscuits.
If you
Yeah.
buy your dog these biscuits, they too could be a champion at Crufts.
Fucking boom. The marketing writes itself.
Yep. So the first show invited all breeds to compete and had around 2,000 dogs.
Damn, people were bored in the 1850s. First show, it has no legacy. No one knows if it's any good.
People
2,000
love
signups.
to compete their animals.
I'm here for it.
So the Kennel Club now runs it. Incidentally, the president of the UK Kennel Club is Prince Michael of Kent.
God.
And its patron was Queen Elizabeth II, famed for her corgi
Oh,
entourage.
Oh, yeah.
I love corgis.
the butts.
Although
That's the recently dead one, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. I know that Fergie, I'm pretty sure, got some of the corgis, but I don't know who the new patron of the kennel club is.
Fergalicious.
Anyway, so Crufts is not an open competition anymore. It is more prestigious than that. The dogs have to qualify throughout the previous year, usually by placing at smaller kennel club shows. They have to work their way up.
It's like
to
the
Crufts.
Olympics.
Yes.
Dang, okay.
Quote, only the best get to Crufts is what you'll hear from dog enthusiasts.
Only the best get the crusts at Crafts.
Throughout the UK and Europe.
I'm obsessed with
Only
Crafts.
the best get to Crufts.
Only the best get Crafts.
An event we invented.
An event we invented to sell
Last
dog
year.
treats.
So Crufts has had some controversies though in the past, including dog owners putting chewing gum in the fur of rival dogs.
Mean. Saboteur.
Yes.
Mean girl.
Fucking mean girls. Mean
Slipping
Crufts.
laxatives into dog food.
Oh my God.
And even arguments about the British purity of the dogs.
Okay.
Jesus.
So some people said that like the only breeds that should be allowed should be British breeds.
Make Crufts great again.
Yeah, basically.
Totally.
But in 2015, things took a much more sinister turn. Murder.
Oh!
Murder of dogs?
Sadly, yes.
Oh no!
We will get to it.
Kenya, it's a dog murderer.
No!
Canyon kills dogs. Tell everyone.
Moving on. So that year, 2015, Caroline Kisco was the Kennel Club's secretary and director of communications. Get it together. But it's safe to say that 2015 was her very own Annus Horribilis. Do you know what that is?
No, do you?
Yes. Amanda. Do you?
No.
People out there know.
3 people are like, I know.
So Queen Elizabeth II, the one who recently died,
Right.
in 1992, she gave a speech and she basically said that 1992 had been a really shitty year for her, and it was her Annus Horribilis.
Oh,
her bad
her
year.
horrible year. Yeah.
Oh, my
Get
God.
over it, lady.
Oh my fucking God.
Was it the last time she spoke publicly? Hopefully.
No, but it was
They canceled
because
her
of,
immediately.
Charles and Diana were like all their kids were basically getting divorced, and there was a lot of like scandal and stuff, and so it was her Annus Horribilis.
Her Anna Karenina.
So she gave a speech just to bitch and moan about what a shit
It
year
was
she
her
had.
viral tweet.
She gave a speech every year, and she happened
She
to like
used her platform is
Yeah.
all.
Listen, guys, this has been
It's been a
real
Annus
anus
Horribilis.
it's the
horribilis.
rebuilding year. All my kids are getting divorced, and one of them is a pervert. I
Oh
can't.
God. I mean, she should be
The
celebrating
nannies
that it
did
was
their
only
best.
one.
Okay, anyway.
The nannies did
their
best. The corgis did their best.
The corgis
They
are
were
thriving.
corgi breastfed.
I have a question about those corgis.
Yes.
Do they all have like the same set of names? It's like Anna 6 or do they have different names for
I
each
think
dog?
for a while, I mean, she had so many throughout her life because she lived
Never
forever.
died. Yeah.
But I think for a while they were all like different alcohol types. Like there was
Cute.
like
So there were
cognac
themes.
and I think there were themes a lot.
Okay.
Gin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Gimlet.
so
Cute.
oh, that's cute.
Yeah. I'm making that up, but I think so.
A dark, a stormy.
So, okay. 2015 is this Kennel Club ladies' Annus Horribilis.
Okay.
That
For
was
start,
such a random.
I love a joke you have to explain. It's my favorite. I love it.
people out there get it. People
It's
who've
a
watched
very
The
good
Crown.
joke now that I feel cultured
Right?
enough to understand
Thank
it. Yes.
you. It ties
Yes.
in. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Highbrow, but I'm here for it.
Thank you. So, for starters, an increasing number of British exhibitors began protesting the growing number of foreign dogs competing
Ugh.
at Crufts. There's
I can't
literally
wait to be
dog
xenophobic.
Speak English only.
Just screaming at a chow. Go back to where you came from.
Go. Sad.
Well, that's what they're basically fucking doing.
I know.
Lancashire.
It's stupid. Lancashire.
Okay. It even got to the point that the newspaper The Independent released op-eds about the issue, lamenting that Crufts had lost its, quote, British bulldog spirit,
Wow.
a claim that Kisco called balderdash and rubbish.
This
Whoa.
is the most British shit
This is so British.
fucking ever.
And I'm not making any of this up.
No, it's all quotes.
Then, a month before Crufts, members of the Staffordshire Bull Terrier Club argued so heatedly over parliamentary procedures at their annual meeting that the police had to be called.
Stop.
These
Holy
blokes
shit.
are out of hand.
Fucking hardcore.
Yeah. Yeah. These
Oh,
fucking dog people
blimey,
are...
we've got another call to the dog show. Break up these fucking lunatics.
To the dog fancy.
And finally, an animal rights activist group released an anti-Crufts manifesto in The Guardian saying,
go.
quote, if you respect, care about, or love dogs, do not attend Crufts.
Because it's not the dogs who are making it nasty, obviously.
The op-ed blasted the show, calling it a hideous event, mainly due to inbreeding, which, according to the op-ed author Purva Joshipura, leads to about 1 in 4 so-called purebred dogs being born with serious congenital defects.
Yep.
Okay, not according to the ASPCA.
Well, according to this animal rights activist author. So more animal rights activists started planning a disruption for Crufts to draw public attention to the issue. So things are going a little haywire. All of this is happening in the lead up to the event. Then the show goes on, and the winner is a really big shocker. It's a black Scottish Terrier named McVans to Russia with Love.
Oh my God. Timothy McVeigh for short.
Why?
What?
I think it's like the horse thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it has to be.
it totally is.
yeah,
It's like a full sentence of a name.
But it is
Right.
extremely obnoxious.
It's very
Just
annoying.
call it beans and move on.
Well, so most of these dogs will have like an official name for like the books, and
Yeah,
that has
and then
to
their
do with
little-
like the year that they were born and whatever. And they
Like
there
our dog,
can't be
Princess.
repeats.
Our dog was Princess Blossom Hills Daisy Jacobson, but she was just Daisy. But on her birth certificate.
There you go.
Her pedigree.
And then they'll have like the name that like they actually get called by their owners. And
Or
so-
by Kenyon, who would call her Petting Zoo.
You've
She
had a run
reeked.
of stinky dogs.
She reeked and had the worst liver spots. And I have a visceral memory of, like, for some reason, my mom had me and Kenyon give her a bath once
Yeah.
in my bathroom upstairs in Minnetonka. And we were gagging, like, the entire time.
Why did we? What? You were probably grounded, and
I probably was.
You're like,
and you
look,
were
I'll give Daisy a bath if you let.
Kenyon visit. If you let me have 1 hour of visitation with my friend, we'll do a chore.
Probably.
I'm sure that's what happened.
Give me my conjugal visit. I'll bathe the dog.
Yeah,
I was
Kenyon
like,
came for
bye.
a conjugal visit. Always down for anything this one.
Can you drive me home after?
Yep.
All right. So the dog was. So the dog's real name is Nopa.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog was, as its name suggests, from Russia. So that was the winner that year. And its handler was an American woman, Rebecca Cross. So obviously people are fucking pissed
Yep.
that both the dog and the
A
handler...
Russian dog with an American handler is winning our British
That's
fucking event. How dare you?
So Cross and McVans to Russia with love are heading to the winner's circle when two PETA activists, Kirsty Henderson and Luke Steele, which sounds like a porn name. Run onto the main show floor with a sign that reads, "Mutts against Crufts."
Okay.
Very hard to say. There is utter pandemonium. Henderson and Steele are dragged out of the arena by security because they won't leave the floor.
I want to see this video.
I do too.
Ugh.
And then Cross, the winner handler, picks up her dog by the throat and tail,
Oh.
which fucking ew.
What the
Don't do that.
fuck?
Something that she was already previously warned not to do. So she obviously had been seen doing this in the past, and
And if she's doing this in front of people, you want to know what other shit she's doing to that dog,
Yeah.
not in front of people.
The throat.
And
throat
tail.
and tail. That is absolutely not how you pick up a dog.
No.
Yeah.
Ugh, that's awful.
So the furor over this became known as tailgate.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
People signed a petition demanding that Rebecca Cross be stripped of her Best in Show title.
I mean, she should be, but tailgate.
I love it.
I think she was, this is not an excuse, but I think she was probably defending herself, saying that, it was a rushed, people had literally just, stormed onto the floor.
Well, sure. If she hadn't done it before,
Right.
I might have.
Yeah. Because maybe
Almost.
she was trying to get just the chest and the butt and it slipped or something. But
Right.
But it sounds like there's a pattern.
Right. But our girly Caroline Kisko, the Kennel Club comms director, handles all this drama, like a boss. And finally, 2015 is over, and she thinks things are looking up.
She's wrong.
That is, until dogs start dropping dead.
Oh my god.
So in Beerbeek, Belgium, a Rhodesian Ridgeback, which are also beautiful dogs, named Kamakana, or Mac, who had just been crowned Best Male Ridgeback at Crufts, is back home in Belgium and is being walked in the woods when shots ring out.
Murder.
it was an assassination.
Truly.
Yeah. The dog panics and starts to run because
Yeah.
it's not a hunting dog, it's a show dog.
No.
But more shots are fired and Mac is shot in the neck and dies.
Oh,
Oh
Matt.
my god.
No.
So when investigators asked Mac's owner, Dorothy McGoldrick, if she has any enemies, maybe in the dog world, she replied, quote, "Of course, everybody has enemies in the dog world.
Okay.
Especially
Okay,
if you are
bitch.
successful, people are jealous."
Of course, I'm a Crufts winner. Everyone at Crufts wants to be in my position.
this is
Everyone
the
wants
best
to be
male
us.
Ridgeback in the country.
Of course, Andrea. Everyone wants to be us.
This is very Best in Show.
Yes.
Don't be ridiculous, Andrea. Everybody wants this.
Exactly.
The Squishmallows. It's my favorite fucking TikTok.
Okay, but in the end, McGoldrick thought that it probably wasn't an assassination of a Crufts winner per se. She thought it was probably, quote, a stupid hunter that doesn't like dogs. So she thought it
Like
was
that fucker in that public park a couple weeks ago.
What?
A man in some park, I think it was in Tennessee, like a public park. There was a dog off its leash that was chasing a squirrel.
Yeah.
And it got close to this guy and he shot it and killed it. He had a gun. He said
Yeah.
the dog got too close and he just shot the dog and killed it in front of its owner, in front of kids playing.
That's fucked up. I mean,
At, like,
don't
1
have
in
your
the
dog off
afternoon.
leash unless you're in a dog park that allows for an off leash animal.
Yes,
and
but
don't shoot people's fucking dogs.
Yeah, both are fucked up. One at a much higher degree.
Yeah, leash your fucking pets. I'm not blaming this person for their dog getting shot, but like just one of the many reminders to leash your pet unless you are in a dog park that allows for your pet to be off leash, because you can't predict other people or other animals' behavior. It's not even about your dog necessarily.
Those aren't all the details. I don't remember all the details. It's a very
That's nuts.
Very fucked up situation.
Yeah. How traumatic. That's awful.
And people just walking around with guns.
Yep.
And he just left. They let him go. There
Well,
was no
yeah.
crime.
Self-defense. If he felt threatened or claims he felt threatened, he's got a case.
Again, this is not the whole story.
Right.
I encourage you to Google it because it's very.
I'm not saying he's right. I'm saying that he would have legal standing to walk away from that situation, which is also very fucked up.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, back to this. So
Woof.
Mac has been shot just on a walk in the woods, and they didn't like find the shooter because it's like in the woods and shots are ringing out, and like they didn't figure out who the shooter was. 1 month later, 6 German Shepherd puppies considered to be future Crufts contenders were stolen from their home in Essex.
Abduction.
It's like a real, like, 101 Dalmatians situation.
Yes.
The puppy nappers demanded that the owners pay £4,000 or the animals would be, quote, tormented.
Turned into jackets.
Pay them.
Sadly, the case was never solved and the puppies were never found.
Oh my God.
So hopefully the puppy nappers didn't
follow
hurt
through
them and
Well, what's
somehow
the point
gave
of-
them away or sold them.
Or I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you could be buying a dog that has been stolen from a breeder.
right. How would you really know?
Yeah.
You know?
And then news broke of the poisoning of a Crufts champion.
Oh, shit.
Just 2 days after competing at Crufts, a 3-year-old Irish setter named Thendara Satisfaction, a.k.a. Jagger.
The fuck?
Where do you get Jagger?
They're usually unrelated. It's usually like, it's not
It's
I
a
hate
stage
it.
name and a real name.
correct.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
okay. It's terrible. But this poor
But
dog was
also,
poisoned.
where do you get
so
the stage name?
Usually,
So
based on
weird.
the year that they're born, it has to start with a certain letter.
Oh.
And then people just go wild. I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay.
Okay, so this dog, this 3-year-old Irish setter, Jagger, collapsed at his home in Belgium, also in Belgium. Out of nowhere, Jagger began having difficulty breathing, and it became so bad that his owners called a vet. By the time they got to the vet, Jagger had already collapsed and died, and it just happened super suddenly. And they tried to get him help, and it was just too quick.
Yeah. Poor little bug.
So thankfully, an autopsy was performed, which found some pretty shocking evidence in the dog's gastrointestinal tract.
Ruh-roh,
A
Scooby.
Crufts biscuit.
Oh.
Sprats. Pieces of beef neatly rolled up around bits of poison.
No. Okay. That's for a dog. That's the most for a dog ever. That's not a dog accidentally getting into something that a dog shouldn't eat. That is malicious for a
Yes.
dog.
Correct.
Oh.
So initially, Jagger's owner, Alexandra Lowers, thought that he was poisoned at the event. Remember, they'd just been home for 2 days. She said, quote, "I am convinced it happened at the dog show. There wasn't any other opportunity. It looked like an act of jealousy." On Facebook, Lowers even posted a photo of her beloved Jagger with the caption, "To the person who has done it, I hope you can sleep well knowing that you have killed our love, family member, and best friend to our son."
Oh my God.
Alexandra is convinced that Jagger was somehow given the fatal dose at the show, but when tissue samples from the body were tested, results showed heavy traces of carbofuran,
Nailed it.
carbofuran, and Aldi carb, which sounds like a cereal that my mom buys from Aldi.
Yep.
Both fast-acting pesticides that are banned in the EU. So somebody would have had to work really hard to
get it in there.
To get it in there.
And if it's that fast acting and the dog died 2 days after the competition, okay. So then
Correct.
the timeline also doesn't sync up.
But like also they're in Belgium, so like where did these pesticides fucking come from?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, couldn't have
It's
been
sus.
couldn't have been
premeditated at the very least.
Something's off.
And Jagger's symptoms were all consistent with ingesting carbofuran and aldicarb, so abdominal cramps, excessive salivation, imbalance, blurred vision, difficulty breathing, and death.
Is the call coming from inside the house? Is there a
Insurance.
plant, a spy,
I-
a handler?
I don't have the answer,
Okay.
but I doubt it. I don't think Alexandra should be under suspicion.
I don't necessarily mean
He was
her.
the
I mean,
best
maybe
friend to
someone
their
that was
son.
had access to their home, who's coming in and out to work with the dog, walk the dog.
Not that I read
Okay.
about.
So someone real sneaky just laid these treats.
Toss
and
him over
waited.
the fence.
Yeah. Could have been as easy as that.
Yeah. The big question was, when could Jagger have been fed this lethal meat?
That is my question.
Champion show dogs like Jagger are watched very closely. He went from his home in Belgium, like with his owners, to a hotel in Birmingham,
My God, he's living my best life.
then directly on to Crufts to the show, and then back home. So it wasn't like they were walking out in a random park or, whatever, in a farmer's field or whatever. He was transported to his competition and back home because, again, he's a fucking champion.
Yep.
They're
They're on a tight schedule.
so
They're watching him.
except for when he was actually competing on the floor, the entire time he was led around Crufts on a double leash with his half brother, Thendara Pot Noodle.
I can't.
Satisfaction and pot noodle.
I cannot. This is absurd.
I was sad a second ago.
Like, imagine properly grieving these animals.
pot noodle.
Pot noodle, no!
Pot Noodle's also a Crufts winner.
Is Pot Noodle a jealous sibling? Could Pot Noodle have done it?
Pot Noodle have
Pot-
acquired banned pesticides
Yeah.
and neatly
Rolled
rolled
it
them
up.
up.
Listen, Pot calling the noodle black. I'm here for it. Let's go. Pot meat noodle.
So if Jagger accidentally had come across and ate some poisoned meat, but it wasn't necessarily the target, presumably his half-brother would have as well, and it was more than one piece of meat.
It's sus that Pot Noodle walked away unscathed.
Was in perfect
That's
health.
all I'm saying. It's fucking sus. Suspect number one in my book, Pot Noodle.
Pot noodle.
So with suspicions running high, Jagger's co-owner, D. Milligan Bott, writes an email to the press office of the Kennel Club. The email ended with, quote, "Toxicology reports should be completed by Wednesday. The police have been informed as this was a deliberate malicious act." So she's notifying the Kennel Club. The media soon gets wind of the alleged murder and shows up at the Milligan Bott home requesting comment. They get swarmed by press at their home.
Paparazzi.
Hand
okay?
over pot noodle. We know it was him.
Take him away.
A lynch mob.
At a very passionate press conference, the Milligan Botts say, quote, "We can't and we won't think that this was an act of another exhibitor. If we thought this, we couldn't go on."
No, it's an act of Pot Noodle. I'm telling you, case solved.
And the last 30 years of breeding and showing beautiful dogs would have been a complete waste. So I ask all of you to unite in finding the perpetrator who did this.
God.
The drama.
We
yeah.
couldn't go on.
Right. So sensational news articles follow. The Sun posts "murder at Crufts," and the A huge. There, I have a picture on the drive.
In tiny parentheses before murder is just dog. Murder.
And the AP called it, quote, a murder mystery more outlandish than any Hollywood script.
Oh my God.
They should have brought in
front
Poirot.
page of the Sun.
It's so dramatic.
There's your spaniel.
It's so
People
fucking
start
dramatic.
doing what people do, which is dropping completely unsubstantiated theories on Facebook.
Police
was
are
pot
following
noodle.
all leads.
Get it? Do you get it? Leads. Do you get it?
Well, I think
Like
it was
leashes.
it was on purpose because of this fucking
They're
publication.
going to sniff out
It's
the
brilliant.
perpetrator.
It's brilliant.
Track him down.
Track him.
They're like a dog with a bone.
The pot noodle does give me pause.
Are you seeing the Sam Smith inlay right next to it? That just
Yes.
says, I was punched in the neck by anti-gay thugs.
Punch
The
in
Sun
neck.
is crushing it.
So more stories, but again, these are unsubstantiated Facebook comments, basically, about dogs dropping dead start to emerge. So people claim that a West Highland White Terrier, an Afghan Hound, which I just included photos on the drive because they are so wild looking.
Oh my God, their hair.
They're beautiful dogs.
The
They're
side part.
gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
And a Shih Tzu were listed as other alleged victims. And so there's this panic starts to grow that there's like a Crufts serial killer on the loose.
My God.
So Satisfaction and Pot Noodle were Irish setters.
Yes.
Okay, so these are definitely the horse girl dogs.
Well, they're much bigger than a spaniel, but they have kind of the same hair
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
So 1 week after Jagger's death, the Kennel Club releases a statement saying, our heartfelt sympathies go out to Jagger's owners, but basically, end quote. Basically, based on the toxicology report, they claim that it is inconceivable that Jagger was poisoned at Crufts because it took too long for the poisons to take
Sit in.
effect.
That's fair.
That's fair. The beef he consumed was still largely undigested when the autopsy was performed, and food is usually absorbed in dogs within 6 hours. So again, it really couldn't have happened at Crufts.
That's a quick-ass poison, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
So still, rumors are flying, and so the Kennel Club launches its own investigation, but while looking for witnesses or evidence of more victims or following up these leads on Facebook, they're coming up short. Like, nothing is proving to be substantiated at all.
Sure.
Ultimately, a representative from the Kennel Club says in a public statement, quote, there was absolutely no evidence that there was any poisoning. We went back over past rumors and reports and checked those out as well. If anybody thought that their dogs had been poisoned at Crufts, then none of that has ever been borne out. And, like, they kind of have a point. But this frenzy just got whipped up before
Yeah.
anyone
Could
looked at the facts.
be logical about
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
They're so dramatic.
Jagger's murder case still remains unsolved.
It's cold.
And they never found out who shot the other one.
No, and those two were both in Belgium, but I think in different parts of Belgium.
Wow.
Belgium's not that big.
That's true.
It's like a square mile, if that.
It's a slightly bigger, yes. And in spirit, yes. So early on, there was a report of someone killing cats in the Belgium neighborhood
God,
where Jagger lived.
No. Leave the cats alone.
But that lead also went cold, so they don't think that that was it.
Where they show cats.
No, but like someone like trying to kill like feral cats, I'm assuming.
Getting their practice in.
Yeah.
Yeah, practice.
A
Sickos.
Kennel Club spokesperson told Vice that the show has now doubled its security measures to include increased patrols by stewards as well as CCTV to further protect all the dogs at the show following
Good.
2015's incident, even though it probably had nothing to do with Crufts.
And has Pot Noodle been taken into custody?
Questioned.
Pot Noodle remains under
At
suspicion.
large.
So my case kind of fizzles out. There's not a Fendara satisfaction ending. But definitely caused a big frenzy and lots of think pieces about
so much
whether or not there was a
Crufts
Crufts killer.
There definitely was a Crufts killer.
Yeah.
I feel confident that there was.
These are two winners
Two
from
Crufts
Belgium.
winners from Belgium within like a month of each other dying under suspicious circumstances.
It's
being
too
murdered.
connected.
Yeah.
There's too much red string
Right.
to not have this be a Crufts killer
So
situation.
listeners in Belgium, if you have any leads, please let us know.
Fucking solve it.
Are
Get
these-
to work.
Are these dogs insured? They have to be.
They must be.
I bet.
Can't, but they don't think this is an insurance thing.
Well, no, because the owners would get the insurance, not the murderer.
That's what I'm saying. The owners
So-
are the murderers.
Well,
Or
the
they
one that
hired
was-
a hitman. Hired a hitman.
I mean, maybe.
That's a
But
stretch.
why? I mean, these dogs just won, and I bet.
Yeah, the dogs are almost more valuable continuing
To
to
breed.
win.
yeah,
and breed
you're right. You're right. You're
Yeah.
than
right.
they
You're right.
would be.
You're right.
And like people are much more willing to kill their fucking husband or wife than they are their family pet.
Absolutely.
Like let's be honest about humanity
If we
here.
took a poll,
yeah.
yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
I would if this were if Secretariat were the wife, yes. Since what's its name? Satisfaction. Then yes, I would be ringing alarm bells about insurance. But the mere fact that this is a pet, like a beloved pet, that's not tracking for me.
And for me, it's that they're worth way more alive to breed or to continue winning.
I appreciate how suspicious you are.
Oh,
I'm just trying to be an Aloysius over here.
yeah. We're trying to figure out every possibility.
Angle.
Great. Well, we're going to launch a new podcast that's an investigative podcast about the Crufts murderer, the Crufts killer.
That'd be amazing. If we had fuck you money, I would 1,000% go to Belgium and launch this investigation.
Crufts
Yes.
canine killer.
Yep. So get on that Patreon so that we can truly bring you the content that we want to be
That
making.
you deserve.
My Welsh sheepdog investigative reporter.
I liked this case. Good job.
Thank you.
Well done.
thank you.
Well done.
Well, should we hear a quick word from our sponsors and then get to something entirely different?
Yes.
Great.
Cold turkey might be great on sandwiches after Thanksgiving,
Yum.
but there is a better way to break your bad habits. Cold turkey's hard. Doesn't have to be that hard. And we're not talking about some weird mind tricks or Fox News brainwashing. We're talking about our sponsor, Fume. And they look at the problem in a different way. So not everything in a bad habit is wrong. So instead of a drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad part from your habit?
Keep
the rest, yeah.
I'm hearing what you're laying down. Fume is an innovative, award-winning flavored air device that does just that. Instead of vapor, Fume simply uses flavored air. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural, and instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses delicious flavors. So you get it. Instead of bad, Fume is good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy and makes replacing your bad habit easy. Your Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial and is designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, giving your fingers a lot to do, which is helpful for de-stressing and anxiety while breaking your habit. As an ADHD girly, I am here for the fiddling, the fidgeting,
Yes.
obsessed. I also think the flavors are amazing. Some of my favorite standouts as the weather was still pretty warm when I got my Fume, so I was super into the raspberry lemon. But
Yeah.
now that things are starting to change, the leaves are changing, I'm kind of feeling like the orange vanilla.
Cozy.
Yeah, or the maple pepper.
Oh my.
Yeah, they're super delicious. And it feels as a fidget person, it is such a nice little trinket to have in your hand. It's perfectly weighted and balanced, and it's extremely fun to fidget with. I'm obsessed.
And it's kind of nice, like if your friends are taking a break going outside, you can also do that, you know. It's all there. All the not bad habits are still there.
Yeah.
So stopping is something that we all put off because it is hard, but switching to Fume is easy, enjoyable, and even fun. Fume has served over 150,000 customers and has thousands of success stories, so there's no reason why that can't be you. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head to tryfume.com and use code GALS to save 10% when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com and use code GALS, GALS, to save an additional 10% off your order today. And treat your habits.
Treat them. Are you ready for my case, kinda?
I have no idea what direction you're going in, so sure.
Great.
She mentioned hogs.
Yep. So, I could have looked for a big scandal in the breeding industry or the showing industry, but we covered that, And as we record this, Feral Hog Month started yesterday. So I feel it is my opportunity, nay, my responsibility.
Your duty.
My duty as a woman, as a friend,
As a wife.
as a lover, as a wife, to discuss one of the world's greatest scams, the teacup pig.
Mini pigs?
Mini
Yup.
pigs?
Yup.
Oh, we have a history with mini pigs.
We do.
Well, you're about to get some bad news, folks. So how did this teacup pig, mini pig trend even start? Well,
Paris Hilton.
no, before she was even a thing. National Geographic did the hard-hitting investigative journalism, and they said, quote, the novelty of petite pigs in the United States began in 1986 when a few dozen Vietnamese pot-bellied pigs were imported to American zoos.
Cute.
They are very cute. Pot-bellied pigs are very cute, and they are arguably not as big as or they don't get as big as a feeding pig. So that kind of started the illusion of the
You
mini
can have
pig.
a small pig. Okay.
Yep.
So pot-bellied pigs are just the hairy, they're shorter.
Patchy.
Yeah, they're just a cute pig.
You gotta stop saying cute, because that's really subjective.
Yeah, but if you look on the drive at what they're marketing as a mini pig, they're so fucking cute. But then when they are bigger, all bets are off.
So the one in the pink skirt is a potbelly. Oh my God, it has pink nails.
We'll get to it, okay?
Sometimes they're spotted.
Yep. They can have different markings. Okay. So these Vietnamese potbelly pigs are showing up in American zoos, and private breeders are like, oh shit, those are cute as fuck. This is an unregulated industry. I'm gonna sell pigs.
And they're not good for bacon and pork and stuff.
I'm not sure if they are supposed to be bred and raised for food, but any pig's gonna taste pretty good. Fucking wild hog,
Surely that's what they were in Vietnam.
probably, yeah. I imagine they are for food.
Yeah.
But in this context, private breeders take notice to breed or inbreed and underfeed the potbelly pigs and other small breed lines, such as, these are some names that I can't really pronounce properly, but I'm going to try, such as New Zealand's Kune Kune and the state of Georgia's Spanish-descended Ossabaw Island pigs.
Okay.
These strategies produce pigs that were significantly smaller than 1,000-pound farm hog, but not the size of a chihuahua as promised by breeders. Their weight is impossible to predict.
Their adult weight.
Correct.
So they'll take pictures of them as little piglets, and they say
Yup.
they're gonna stay this size. It's such a great family pet,
Or they'll max out at about 60 pounds.
right? Which is still
It's a
big.
great family
pretty
pet. They're
big.
really smart. Yeah, but 60 pounds, Callie was 50 pounds.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's a dog.
Right.
That's a manageable size.
Right.
I remember
But
this
you
trend.
can't limit it to that.
no, you
don't
can't.
know.
I remember this absolutely blowing up in the mid-2000s. I'm sure Paris Hilton had something to do with that, but everyone was in on it.
Oh, Kyle Green was obsessed with mini pigs. We had a whole science project that got derailed where we only ended up talking about mini pigs.
Massively derailed. We got an A.
We
I
did.
think just because Mr. Hessian wanted us to
enthusiasm.
shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
If you stop talking about mini pigs, I'll
Yeah.
give you an A.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Mars Millennium Project, and we just went on a full
Mini
ass
pigs.
rant about how we were gonna build a colony on Mars entirely around mini pigs.
I know someone who got a mini pig who fell for this and ended up having to rehome it because of its size. It's not anyone that you know, but I know someone who this
And
happened.
pigs will eat a baby.
Sure. Didn't see any of those
If they're
reports.
hungry enough.
But if they're hungry enough, they'll eat a whole adult person. Shockingly, this someone that I'm not naming was not me, but I was extremely tempted also to get a mini pig because it was
you
the
don't
thing.
know, yeah.
You don't know.
Had you been an adult living on your own with your own income,
If I had any disposable
you
income
would
at
have
the
gotten
time,
14 of them.
I would have had at least 3 mini pigs, and then at least 2,000 pounds of full adult pig in my apartment. It would have been bad. So Jake Swearingen of Modern Farmer wrote in 2014 to quote, "Never buy a teacup pig." Like that was like the title of his article.
Good.
He explains why. Teacup pigs, also sometimes sold as micro pigs, pocket pigs, and Juliana pigs, are a marketing scam reaching back at least 2 decades, if not more. It works.
Juliana pigs.
Juliana pigs. It works like this. Breeders put up listings for teacup pigs, promising to sell petite porkers that'll stay permanently tiny. But buyers then pay anywhere from $750 to over $100 for their teacup pig.
What if your kitten grows to be 1,000 pounds?
I'd be so
Lush.
happy.
It'd be like Clifford the dog, but a cat.
Big
Yeah.
red beans.
Wow.
Oh my God. I'll pray every night. The buyer then watches as that tiny pig becomes a larger adolescent pig and then a very large, very non-teacup sized hog.
Well, Alice in Wonderland teacup sized.
Pretty much.
They're just buying a pig lit.
Yeah.
I can't
So-
believe this advertising worked like this.
Yeah.
Well, teacup poodles, all kinds of teacup
Yeah.
dogs exist.
We're used to miniature
Yeah.
plus whatever breed
Yeah.
and then assuming that even as an adult, it's still small because that's what we're used to in domesticated animals.
Right.
And so they just said that about pigs and we were like,
People fell for
oh
it.
God.
Yeah.
So I have provided before and after photos of teacup pigs on the drive, which will be on the blog. And a vet weighed in, LOL, see what I did there, on this article. Yeah. It's shocking. And we'll get to some of the very specific pigs. Making it extremely clear, quote, "The word teacup describes what the pig looks like at the exact moment in time that the photo is taken. So in infancy. It has no bearing on what that animal will look like 3 months or 36 months down the line," says veterinarian Dr. Patty Cooley of Miami's Sunset Animal Clinic. They grow well beyond their undeniably adorable small appearance right at the outset. They get very, very large. So vets, farm professionals, tons and tons of fucking people are coming forward and saying, y'all, teacup, mini,
Nothing.
pocket,
Don't do it.
they're not breeds. This is not a breed of pig. What you're getting is like likely a Vietnamese potbelly pig, which sure might not get to 1,000 pounds.
But it'll be 400 pounds.
But it'll get to upwards of 450 pounds.
You'll notice it.
yeah.
Correct. The words that they're using in these ads are simply a descriptive buzzword used to sell an often underfed baby pig with the promise that it will stay small.
Oh my
According to
God.
experts, quote, "So-called teacups are actually pot-bellied pigs who are either underfed to stunt their growth or who are sold under false pretenses."
These
So
would have
sad.
done so well on Mars.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is actually
Bringing back.
validating our Mars Millennium Project.
Yeah, we would have had way more bacon than we planned.
Yeah, which is always a better outcome.
and is good for a human.
Yeah. A lot of folks found this out the hard way.
Or they would have gotten to be 1,000 pounds on our spacecraft on the way to Mars.
Yeah. That trip is not brief. That
Well,
pig
if there's
was
no
dead.
gravity, doesn't matter.
Okay, I don't. I'm really glad y'all don't build spaceships.
Let's get Kyle Green on the
Floating.
phone. We have something to discuss.
Just this massive pig just floating.
Circling back
Feral
25
hog
years
space.
later.
Just release them into space. Feral hogs are now.
Put a mask on them. Whatever. They're adaptable. They'd find a way to
They're-
survive.
yes.
Probably would.
God. So, folks, a lot of folks found this fact that mini pigs aren't a thing out the hard way. In 2006, St. Paul, Minnesota resident Sarah Davis Jastrom adopted what she thought was a mini pig from a little farm, like a pop-up hobby farm.
Oh, God.
The little pig, who was also blind, likely from issues with breeding, was only 7 pounds when she was adopted and named Daisy May.
Oh, God.
Which one of these photos is this woman?
Where they're on 2 separate chairs and like kind of gazing at each other.
Oh.
But Daisy May reached a whopping 300 pounds within about a year. Sarah and her then boyfriend, now husband, bought a house in St. Paul with a fenced-in yard to allow Daisy May to roam and soak up the sun, gaining her local icon status within the community. But not everyone was down with this. From the Pioneer Press, quote, a concerned person squealed on the pig to City Hall in 2010. And this was how Jastrom learned that the city had an ordinance on the books that classified pigs as dangerous exotic animals, along with lions, tigers, and gorillas.
Oh,
Fortunately, a neighbor helped Jastrom organize a Help Save Daisy May campaign, and it led to a petition with 11 pages of signatures from more than 400 neighbors. If only we organized around things that were fucking important. There, and I said it. Anyway, city officials were sympathetic. Eventually, after some research into the matter, the ordinance was edited to allow for this type of pet pig.
Okay. I mean, they can be dangerous.
Yeah.
But they're sweet.
Well, we'll get to it.
Okay.
While I hate a snitch, I honestly do not condone keeping animals like these as pets, especially in cities. It's not the environment for them. And this is not just my opinion. Like, this is fact. Lauren Edwards, owner of a UK farm and rescue that has devoted much of its resources to caring for dropped off like mini pigs that just got too big, as well as many other vets and, farmers will all say the same shit. But she said, quote, they require lots of space to wander and root. That's their natural, instinct. They need activity and enrichment, and in most cases, a safe, pig-proof, all-weather house of their own. Most importantly, they do best with another piggy companion to bond with, and we'll kind of get to that too. In fact, it's a rare family that's actually equipped to properly provide these wonderful animals with what they need to thrive as a pet.
Yeah, they're really
They do
smart.
better on a farm with a lot of room.
They need space.
Other pigs. Like, if you want to have a hobby farm, by all means have a hobby farm with a couple of sweet pigs that you never eat and you just have them as pets, but they're actually in a safe environment for them to not just survive, but thrive.
And if they escape, they're
not going to hurt anybody.
They're going to turn into feral hogs
Right.
in like a generation.
Fortunately for Daisy May, she lived to be 15 years old and passed peacefully at home in 2021. Whether her life was a particularly happy one, we really can't know. I think it would be hard for her to really thrive as a 300-plus pound pig in like a little chain-linked St. Paul city yard.
I mean, we don't know how big their exact yard was, but yeah.
We don't, but
that's likely.
It's like right near a school. Like, she was famous in the neighborhood because lots of people are walking by. Like, it was in a pretty high density area. I'm just saying, it's like, I'm glad that she lived a nice long life, but that's not the ideal life for an animal like this. It's just not. I wouldn't condone you getting a fucking monkey. I wouldn't condone you getting a big exotic cat if you have like a small house. Like, it's just not.
This lady did not intend to buy a pig.
No, she thought she was getting a mini pig.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When I was in New Zealand, one of the tattoo artists that we worked with on the documentary had a couple big dogs and a big old pot-bellied pig who was just, it just lived like one of the dogs. Like they just were like a little pack.
I know that people do that, but I don't understand it.
And if you can give them lots of like exercise and enrichment, sure. But
it's not for me.
I don't want to see bayed pig in the city. Your situation was different. Out in New Zealand with like a lot of space for them to roam and root around and like
It's still
graze.
pretty city, but sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's rough. So Janie Byrne of Lafferton, Northern England, bought 2 teacup pigs. Mika in 2009 for $515 and Molly for $73 a year after. So one in 2009, one in 2010. Before realizing they would continue to grow.
Well, one of them she had for a year.
Yeah, but it didn't balloon to that size. Like, she had been told that they could reach about 60 pounds. So the first pig had gotten fairly big.
So she thought, oh, it's fully grown.
Right. And then she got another one, and they far surpassed that in the first couple years that she had them. Quote, people notice their rapid growth, they said. They're not micro pigs, but I wouldn't listen to them. Byrne, 47, told Cater's News.
Okay, denial.
I know. Each pig reached sizes upwards of 200 pounds.
Well,
Molly and Mika are also incredibly expensive, not just for the food that they eat, but medical care as well as food for the pigs can run upwards of $440 a month.
medical care.
Yeah, if they're not in their proper environment.
They are an exotic animal, and if they had breeding issues, and then, the food, they must consume so much food.
So much food. But yeah, the breeding issues are bad. They're not, these pigs are not well. They're malnourished when you get them and bred not humanely. So to treat Mika's arthritis, Byrne gives her horse medication on a spoonful of jam.
Stop.
Nope.
Oh my God.
The article I pulled that information from was from 2016, so I have to assume Mika and Molly are no longer with us since they were purchased in, well, maybe not. 2009 and 2010. Probably now they're not. At the time, they obviously were very much alive, but maybe they're still kicking. I don't know. Some of this might seem kind of humorous. I can see the comedy in these thinking you're getting a baby pig and then you have these massive pigs and she's like putting them in costumes and doing their nails and like LOL.
So Mika's the one with the pink nails?
I think so. That's the pic. There's a picture of the two of them in Christmas gear and I'm not sure which one's Mika and which one's Molly, but
I'm sorry,
that's both
Mika,
of them.
but that's not a cute pig.
No, she's...
I am not a pig none of these pigs are cute to me. Not even the baby.
That's insane.
Have you ever
You are a
the baby is
sociopath because the
cute.
babies are cute, but like adult pigs are pretty nasty.
Have you ever touch the feel of a pig?
Oh yeah, it's like human skin and like coarse human hair.
It's like a wire brush.
I don't want a pig, but yeah. So yeah, I can see the humor in that situation, but there are some big consequences for this marketing stunt. First off, and most obviously for the pigs themselves. Like, the people getting duped, like, that sucks. Now you got to spend a fuck ton of money on this pig or find a new home for it. But, like, a lot of these pigs, like, really suffer. Not only are they often questionably bred and malnourished in order to boast a desirable tiny size, pigs in general do not have the generations of domestication that dogs and cats have. So pigs are incredibly smart and social animals with each other, with research showing that they have excellent long-term memories, are aces at solving mazes, have a sense of time, and can be able to anticipate future events.
They can do like puzzles.
Yeah, they can learn from humans and other animals and exhibit emotional empathy. They can even be potty trained like cats. Like, you could have an area, like a giant litter box, basically, and teach them how to use it. And if kept in ideal conditions, are very clean. But research also shows that by and large, they are not social outside of their breed.
So they don't give a shit
Or like
about
their
us.
type.
They don't want to hang out with you. They don't want to live in your house.
They want to live with other pigs.
Yeah.
Right.
They're like pack animals.
Right.
In the way, they're not social outside of their breed in the way that domesticated pets are specifically bred to be companions to humans and to be social with other dogs and or cats or other like small animals. Like some dogs you
Just
can breed.
not toddlers.
Right, sure. And, some dogs you breed to hunt, so you wouldn't want to have that dog and, like, a small cat in your house. You know what I mean? But there are lots of breeds that are specific to be social across different breeds with kids, just like we talked about at the top of the episode. Pigs really are not like that. They're breeding them to be kind of smaller and like, I guess, kind of cute, but like we don't have hundreds of years of pigs being human companions. Yeah, thousands of years.
Even if they are being bred for that, which we don't know.
We don't have enough time at this point.
It's been like 10 minutes.
Right. It's we've been marketing these pigs since the 80s, so it's like, this ain't it. So what you can get is an animal smarter than a fucking dog, like smarter than a toddler, who can anticipate your schedule and then grow to be hundreds of pounds.
Who doesn't particularly like you.
Who is not bred to be living in close quarters with humans and any other non-piggy pets. So it's a fucking recipe for disaster.
It ain't right.
And all too often, the unsuspecting pig ends up dead or abandoned.
Yeah.
So there was a big surge in teacup pig buying in South Florida in 2015, and the results were hog wild.
We know about this.
Yep. When the pigs inevitably got too big for the owners to care for them, they were often abandoned in the Florida wilderness.
The gators loved it.
Probably. But like the people for the most part were trying to take them to a shelter.
Shelters were like, no.
Shelters that have like dogs and cats and stuff literally couldn't take them.
Yeah.
You're not going to take a full-ass pig?
No, and then the shelters that were able to take in like farm animals were so overrun that they literally had to turn people away because
and farmers
of this teacup
can't
pig
take
shit.
them because they don't know what the fuck they have, and they're not going to bring this unknown element into their herds.
No, that they are just spending money to care for. Like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So, as we know from feral hog crimes, domesticated and farm pigs can begin the transformation into feral hogs within a matter of days in the wild.
Same.
And the feral hog population has increased consistently each year in Florida, with a current population of over 500,000 hogs. And hogs can be found in literally every county in Florida. So don't think you're safe just because you're going to Disney Orlando in the governor's mansion. They're all getting hogged. The pigs who are not abandoned often just don't make it to adulthood. There's a very dark side to this type of breeding.
In the wilderness.
Well, not even that. Like, they may not even make it long enough to be adopted or purchased as a mini pig because the breeding has so many fucked up effects on these animals. So again, from National Geographic, Rich Hoyle, a 20-year sanctuary veteran who founded the Pig Preserve in Jamestown, Tennessee, says he's seeing more rescued minis with congenital problems such as deep recessed eyes, males born with retained testicles, and females, like Wisp, born without an anus because of poor breeding practices.
Oh, no butthole.
No butthole. On many rescues, the herd of 50 to 100 pigs that he will encounter are descended from one pair of siblings. Hundreds of pigs.
Siblings.
And their siblings.
Yeah. You can find 50 to 100 pigs that are the children of one set of siblings when he goes to rescue at these, like, it's basically puppy mills.
Yikes.
They're puppy milling these pigs. Quote, these poor inbred and half-starved pigs are inundating sanctuaries. Probably 90% of the so-called micro pigs, that's one of the mini pigs' many nicknames, others include teacup pigs and pocket pigs, will either be dead or in a sanctuary before they are 2 years old. It's bad. Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in Kanab, Utah,
I've been there.
had opened its doors to take in mini pigs from all over the country who had outgrown their small homes. By 2009, they estimated they had taken in and either rehomed or had to provide end-of-life care to approximately 300,000 so-called mini pigs that were not actually mini pigs. Yeah.
Jesus, that is
Farms
so
and
many.
sanctuaries during the peak of the trend were so overwhelmed and they couldn't keep up. The breeding industry of these pigs was completely unregulated and remains unregulated for the most part. Now there exists a quote-unquote regulatory group called the American Mini Pig Association. But I'm looking into Big Pig because
that's sketch, because if they
it's really sketchy.
If they don't exist,
then how can you, they're not condoning it, and they're selling them too.
Yeah.
I have a hard time nailing down their legitimacy. From what I can see, they're a private organization that seeks to legalize and legitimize mini pigs.
Which are not a thing.
Counter to what the experts are saying. Like, if you want to sell Vietnamese potbelly pigs,
sell that.
Then great. Like, if you want to sell potbelly pigs, but the fact that they're even calling it mini pigs when they can be 500 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And like their website's all about like education and reha and and these
Call
pigs.
it
It's
the
like,
American Piglet Association.
right? I just like I don't like it. And I Googled all kinds of like I Googled American Mini Pig Association, legitimate ? I Googled American Mini Pig Association lawsuits ? There's very little that I can find
Right.
about this organization. I really only have their
the
website
name
to go
says
off
it
of.
all. If mini pigs biologically don't exist,
Aren't a thing.
then this is just trying to make it sound legit.
Yeah. And the fact that
And
they're
then
doing
the
like
breeders
legal
can
work.
say like we're endorsed by the American Mini Pig Association.
Exactly.
one of
And
those
they're trying
straw-
to do like legislation that like they did in fucking with Daisy May and St. Paul to allow people to have these as exotic pets.
Yeah.
And so it feels like a fucking money grab to me, and I'm not here for it. Pigs don't want to live in your fucking house.
No.
They do not want to fucking live in your house. They don't want to live in your half-acre yard if you're lucky enough to be in a city where you have a half-acre yard. I live on 0.7 acres, and I have a very big yard for Minneapolis, St. Paul. And this is, like, insane. I would never make a fucking pig live like that. So just get a fucking farm. If you want to have pigs, do it right. Please don't fall for it. Mini pigs aren't real.
Well, thank you for spreading this awareness because I thought
Seriously.
mini pigs were real.
I did too. I thought they were real. I also drank the mini pig Kool-Aid.
Yuck.
I've had a really emotional day learning about mini
you're
pigs.
in it. You're on one right now.
I'm really
Okay.
fucking in it, you guys. That's my not quite a case, but
All right.
there it is.
Well, thank you so much to Ruby Meadow, her dad Carrie, and Mabel the French Bulldog. So
Sweet baby.
Right.
And we'll talk to you all next week.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Crime. Our cover art is by Kala Yip, music by Phil Young and Corey Wendell, editing by Jonathan Camp. Check out our website and blog at wineandcrimepodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wine and Crime Pod. If you have questions, answers, or recommendations to share, email us at wineandcrimepodcast@gmail.com. Episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, basically wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And if you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. It is the best way to spread the word. If you'd like to show your support, visit our Patreon page to keep this podcast and the wine flowing. Cheers!